So tell me one or two lines about Molly. Who was Molly? Come on.
Molly was a white mare.
Good. Volume was remember this here. This is important. Molly was a white mare.
And she liked being traced. And she was fond of eating sugar.
Good. And how about dressing and all?
She used to wear pretty ribbons.
Okay, good. And she would stand in front of a mirror and
Admire herself.
admire herself. Yeah, very nice. Okay, yeah. This is question number 21. How much work animals do now after having thrown Mr. Jones out of the farm? How much work? Animals do now after having thrown Mr. Jones out of the farm? Now the farm is owned by animals. In the beginning, I said that they had the satisfaction that they were working for themselves. But things have changed gradually. Things are not just the same as they were in the beginning. So the animals still believe they are working for themselves. Means they had this blind faith, or you may say a kind of grim satisfaction. And what is the grim satisfaction? That they are working for themselves. Although they already work a 60-hour week, 60 hours per week during spring and summer. Say all seasons, all weathers, you may say. Napoleon informs them that they can volunteer for Sunday afternoon as well. Sundays, they were meant for resting and all. But he has asked them to work on Sundays also. Why? Because he wants the production to increase on the animal farm. He is not interested in the welfare of the animals or their health. He doesn't care about their health. Like, if any of the animals on the animal farm fall sick or does not show any recovery, then the animal is sold to a necker, a butcher. So he is so cruel. Napoleon is so callous, so indifferent. He doesn't bother about the health of the animals. However, any animal not volunteering will have his ration cut in half. He says either you volunteer for the Sunday's work. If you do not volunteer, then what would happen? Your ration would be cut to half. Naturally, what happened? The animals started working on Sundays also. So life became very strenuous on the animal farm. Do you not feel pity for them?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Because after a long time you get a date to rest, to think of yourself, okay, to plan the next week. But they were made to work on Sundays also. So this was very unkind of Napoleon. This is question number 22. Yes. Why does Napoleon decide to engage in trade with neighboring farms? You have neighboring farms, Beachfield and Foxwood. Now Napoleon decides to have trade with them. Okay, to have business with them. Why does he decide so? Napoleon decides to engage in trade with neighboring farm because certain items such as paraffin oil and dog biscuits are in a short supply. He knows he wants those biscuits, for his puppies, for the ferocious who have turned out to be ferocious dogs now. So he wants those biscuits for them, and they are not available on the animal farm. So he has started having trade with the neighboring farms, Pinkfield and Foxwood. Yeah. So now there is a short supply. So therefore Napoleon decides to sell a stack of hay and part of the wheat crop. And this is a kind of barter system, you may say. He would give the wheat crop to these neighboring farms, and in return they would give him biscuit, paraffin and all. And later, they may have to sell some of the hen's eggs too. They are selling the hen eggs, and in turn they were buying alcohol from them. They were getting alcohol from them when they had started drinking. Okay. Question number 23. How do the animals react against the trade with humans? Now, like this was very unkind that animals hens were giving eggs, and those eggs were sold to human beings. And they were busy in production of the animal form. They were increasing the production, and wheat crop or other crops, they were sold to human beings. So other animals, now the question is, how do the animals react against the trade with humans? They are troubled, they are troubled and think, they remember a resolution against trade with human beings. And what was the resolution? 4 young pigs tried to protest, but are silenced by the dogs' growls and the sheep bleating of the slogan, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. When they bleat, they just growl and they stop the slogan being uttered by the sheep. Squealer later explains the decision and asks if they had seen any such resolution in writing. To animals' utter surprise, no such resolution was written. Means there was no written record of any such resolution. Squealer has already done away with the records. Okay, it was decided that they won't have anything to do with human beings. They would not have any transaction with them. Why? Because the man was the biggest enemy. Yet they started having trade with them. So anyone wanted to protest, but they couldn't protest. Why? They were silenced by the ferocious dogs. And Napoleon said, no, nothing of that kind was decided. Since they had not any record of that, so they couldn't say anything also. They had to accept what Squealer said to them. This is how things happen. This is how, rules are distorted. This is how, promises are, made and broken. Like at the time of, what do you see? At the time of election campaigning, we see political leaders making a number of promises. But they do not keep those promises once they win the elections. Same thing happened. Some promises were made. It was decided that all animals would be equal, but it was not so. Now, who was ruling the farm? The pigs were ruling the farm with the help of those ferocious dogs. Other animals were scared of them. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So that's why they did not protest. They kept mum in order to save their life. Okay? Thank you. Now let's move on to the next question. This is question number 24. This is how is the windmill destroyed? Windmill was destroyed twice. First, as a result of a storm, and then there was a battle. So in the battle, it was destroyed by the human beings. So here, this question refers to the first time it got destroyed, I must say. So how is the windmill destroyed? Now, a violent there was a violent storm. It was somewhere in the month of November that blew the windmill down. Instead of admitting that the windmill's walls were not thick and strong enough to support it against a heavy storm, Napoleon blames Snowball, as is usual with him. He blames Snowball for blowing it down, because whatever goes wrong in the animal form, he blames Snowball. So he blames Snowball that the windmill was destroyed by Snowball. Although the windmill was not destroyed by Snowball, it got destroyed itself. There was a heavy storm, and as a result of that heavy storm, the windmill got destroyed. Okay. Now the next question. This is question number 25. Why does Napoleon insist the windmill must be rebuilt immediately? Yeah, Napoleon insists that the windmill must be rebuilt immediately because he not only wants to keep the animals busy in the chilly weather, but he also wants them to realize that erection of a windmill will supposedly ease life for all of them. Because if they are free, then they would have time to speak of or think of Napoleon, his selfishness, his greed and all. So he doesn't want to give time to animals to think about them. Okay, to think about their welfare. He wants them to be busy all the time, even during the chilly weather. So even during the chilly weather, they are not given time to relax. He wants them to work on the windmill. And what pretext does he give? What reason does he give? He gives a reason that this would minimize their labor. Okay. Now this is question number 26. Why does Napoleon revive the threat of the farm being sabotaged by Snowball? Sabotage? Attacked, you may say. Sabotaged. So why does Napoleon revive the threat of the farm being sabotaged by Snowball? Snowball is the perfect scapegoat, you may say. What is he? Scapegoat. If something goes wrong, Snowball is responsible. The one, is scapegoat. Who is a scapegoat? Scapegoat. Scapegoat is a person who can be blamed when something goes wrong. Okay? Yeah. Who's a scapegoat now? Tell me.
Snowball.
Snowball is a scapegoat. But actually, what does it mean? What does the word scapegoat mean?
Means the person who can be blamed even if he's not done anything wrong.
Good. Yeah, this is what it means. So it is not the fault of the pigs when a storage shed key is lost, or the fault of the cows when they do not give enough milk. Okay, when they do not give enough milk, who is responsible? Snowball is responsible. When the key of the store shed is missing, who is responsible? Snowball is responsible. For everything, Snowball is responsible. According to Napoleon and his mouthpiece, Squealer. This is very funny, but this is also very real and very satirical. They need an outside enemy to hate. Okay? Someone they can accuse in place of wrongdoers. Snowball is discredited totally by Napoleon through the use of lies and false accusations. The other animals want to disagree but cannot. And finally, give in and agree with Boxer that if Napoleon says it so, it is because Napoleon is always right. Napoleon is always right. This is a slogan of Boxer, and they are helpless. Okay, means they can't help it, but saying this only, Napoleon is always right. They know that Napoleon is not justified, that Napoleon is not doing any good to them, that Napoleon is very unkind. Okay, still they do not raise their voice against him. Why? Because they are scared of him, and helplessly, what do they say when they are in a helpless state? They know nobody would come to their rescue or to their help. They say, well, Napoleon is always right, as does Boxer say. Okay. Now question number 27. Why does Napoleon order the animals to stop singing Beast of England? This is, I think, a kind of repetition. We have discussed this. He has stopped, Sunday meetings and all, flag hoisting and all. So the rebellion is over, and the pigs are in control of the farm. Who has the control of the farm? The pigs have the control of the farm. The rest of the animals are too dull-witted. They are fools. Okay? They do not realize that pigs are just as bad as Mr. Jones was. Isn't that so? Means they are not able to see through Napoleon and his accomplices like Sculler and the ferocious dogs. Next, this is question number 28. What purpose is served by the production figures Sculler reads out to the animals? What purpose is served by the production figures? By the production figures, he give the production figures. Well, our production is increasing, and we are better off than we were at the times of Jones. So, what purpose does it serve? The production figures given by Sculler to the animals. The pigs fool the other animals by manipulating facts and figures to prove that they are producing more and are much better off than they have ever been before. Means everything is well, everything is fine. We are advancing. Okay, we are making progress. Like false, figures are given, you may say. False production figures are given. The weak and helpless animal cannot raise and voice against the facts furnished by the corrupt and criminal ruling leaders of the animal farm. They have no choice but to accept the figures given by the animals, the pigs especially. Okay?